What is the point of life? It's the age-old question, and I thought maybe I'd try to answer it because it's such a integral part of what I believe, and it influences a lot of my decisions. So I figured, why not talk about it? What is the meaning of life? Well, I don't believe in any God or any religion, so I don't think it's anything divine, and nor do I believe in an afterlife. I think once I'm done, that's it. That's all there is to us. End of the story. But that doesn't mean I don't believe in anything. I do have a purpose in my life. So, at the end of the day, I actually don't think there is an inherent meaning of life that we are born to fulfill. And I don't think, I almost slipped. I don't think anyone's born with any particular purpose. I instead think it's an empty canvas. I think that there is no meaning of life, but that's where you put in your own meaning and you live based on that. And so, with that said, what do I believe? What is my meaning? What's my reason to live? Well, I saw someone, which would have been wild. This is the most dead trail I've ever seen in my life. Very pretty, but no one here. But the way I see it, there's no meaning. I make my own. I only get this one life. There's no afterlife for me, as far as I'm aware. So this is it. This is all I got. Once my ticket is thrown away, once it's done, that's it. I get off the ride. So with that in mind, the point of life for me is to be happy and to enjoy it, because I only get the one ride. So I better enjoy it while I'm here. Now, this is a very privileged position. There's a lot of people out there that can't simply focus on, let's look down here. They can't just focus on being happy. They have a lot more needs to fulfill. And I'm not even just talking in America or in just this time. I mean, back in the day before such large societies, they weren't particularly concerned. I don't think I wasn't there. They weren't particularly concerned with being happy. They were probably concerned with not dying and keeping food in their bellies and water and disease and having kids. Like, that was the point for them. So I'm in a very privileged position to say that the meaning of life is to be happy and enjoy it, because I live in a society where most of my needs can very easily be met, to the point where I don't need to make them such an important part of my life purpose, like eating and getting water and safety. Those are things that I absolutely take for granted. Most of us do, but that's a very privileged thing to say, or a privileged position to be in. So I understand that. I want to get that out the way. And even nowadays, there's a lot of people in this world that don't have all their basic needs met all the time or easily, and that's what most of their life is spent doing, is just getting food on the table and trying to be safe. So, very privileged for me to have this position. But there's more to it. This is very pretty, by the way. We're at Lake Talkin. That's all I got. Lake Talkin in Tallahassee, Florida. Very pretty. I've been out here for about an hour now. Back to it though. So there's more to my philosophy than just that. I also think, my purpose is to enjoy life. Part of it is also to help others enjoy life. Because what is the point if I die, but all I have done is cause suffering? Or if I just sucked the happiness out of everyone else and it just made it impossible for others to enjoy their life? No, that's a little messed up. No. Instead, I think it'd be much better to enjoy my life, but in the process try to make it better for others as well. Or at least make the path to a happy life more accessible to people now or in the future. And so, with that, well, that's not really much to it. That is my philosophy, I want to say, for the most... Whoa, spider web! Holy cow. Oh, dude. Look at that guy. Holy. Oh, he's moving. All right, I'm moving too. I'm going to find the trail a different way. I don't want to bother his web. Animals are also kind of part of it. I also care about animal life and plant life because even though they maybe don't have the cognition to think about what they want to do in life, I'm sure they want to be happy, they want to be fed, they want to live. And if they're not hurting me, why would I stop that? Not to mention ecosystems are just important for us and for other creatures. So with that in mind of happiness and others being happy, there's also nature and animals. Yeah, like they should be in a place where they can thrive, which you can maybe call happy. I might call that happy. I'm sure the plants appreciate water and food and not being cut down. I know I would if I was a tree. This is a new position I have now. I didn't always have this, and I didn't always even have an answer to the question of what's the point of life. If you asked me when I was a child, I probably would have said to maybe get rich or have kids or work in a certain field, be an astronaut. And to be fair, astronaut still might be like a goal in another lifetime for me. But regardless, that's what I used to say, and I wouldn't say that anymore. Not to say I can't get a good job or get a wife and kids or be rich, but these aren't the things that are integral to making you a happy person. Granted, you might need some of that on the way. Okay, let's be honest, in this world, if you don't have money, you don't have anything. What can you do without money in this world? So, in the process of being happy, I'm sure getting a lot of money is going to be part of that. And I'm sure that having a wife or just a relationship in general is going to be part of that. That just sounds like something that's really fun. Something very human. Of course, I wouldn't want to miss out on that experience. This mentality fuels most of my other beliefs, like what I believe about, say, the environment and economics and politics. Because at the end of the day, I think everyone deserves to be happy and have a fulfilling life. No one asked to be born, and no one asked to live where they are and be who they are. They're just dealt that hand. That's what it is. You can't change it. So no one asked to be here. No one wanted to be born. And so everyone has the same right of deserving to be able to live a fulfilling life. Should. Like I mentioned earlier, not everyone is actually able to do that because of where they're born or because of who they are. Some to their own fault, many not at all. If you're an asshole, that's your fault. Maybe you can make a case for someone's bad character development having been from their rocky past, and that's fair. Regardless, though, most of the time, if you're born somewhere where you can't go on a nature walk, or if you don't have enough money where you can afford to go bowling if that's what you're really into, or to dive into a hobby because you don't have time or money because all you're doing is working or farming or whatever else, then you're not going to really have as much of an opportunity to live such a fulfilling and pleasant life. Oh. And that is what fuels a lot of my mentality. I think everyone should be allowed to live that kind of life. And I don't think it should be up to just the rich, the wealthy, the people in power, or whatever a capitalistic system says those people should be because of market forces. I don't think that should dictate your ability to enjoy life and have fun. So that mentality will fuel a lot of my other beliefs, and you just heard one of them, which is I'm an anti-capitalist, because capitalism does not inherently make people more free. It has in the past, historically, compared to feudalism and all the economic systems and political systems that we had in the past. It is more free, but to think that we're just done and that's it, yep, we're done. Capitalism is the perfect thing. There's never going to be anything else after. We have solved it. We have solved human economics. We know how to allocate resources. That's it. To think that is, that's so stupid in my eyes. We have switched economic and political systems countless times throughout history. Most of the time improving, I don't know about most of the time, but up to now improving the human condition, like human development. And to think that it's just going to stop now because now the world's perfect. Obviously it's not perfect. It's something I think should, but maybe will or may not. If it does, I don't think it'll ever happen in my lifetime. But maybe something better can replace it, or things can be done to fix it into a place where everyone on Earth can get to a point where they can enjoy life and live life the way that they actually want to. There really is an illusion of choice in our world. You don't have a lot of choice. You can't do anything. You're limited by what is around you and how far you're able to travel and what you're able to afford and what kind of opportunities you can have access to. It should go without saying that. But I guess some people know that, but they don't see it as something to change or something to fix. They think, oh yeah, I'm just lucky and I deserve to be lucky, and therefore I'm going to be rich, and I am rich because I deserve it. No. Well, maybe you do. I'm not going to be the judge of that. Maybe you do. But not necessarily, because you could have just been born into a rich family or a wealthy country, or a country or a company that exploits its workers or the environment. That's not something that you necessarily deserve, and nor do you deserve it over other people. This is a mindset I wish more people would adopt. And really it just comes from wanting to live in somebody else's shoes. This comes from me trying to understand what other people experience, and also the realization that we're all that we're honestly all quite similar. I'm sure you've heard of the word Sonder before. Sonder refers to the feeling of realizing that everyone else has their own life, and all their relationships, all their internal struggles, all their problems, just like you have them. They're just like you. They have a whole life. They have a whole inner experience, and you will never know what it's like. Just like no one will ever know what it's like to live in your shoes. You will never know what it's like for to live in someone else's shoes. And with that in mind, I thought, well, I just want to be happy. I just want to live a fulfilling life. I want to enjoy it. I'm sure everyone else wants to do the same thing. And honestly, we never asked to be here. Everyone deserves that. Everyone should be able to do that. This also comes from my new development of empathy. I'm sure you've never heard of it before. It's very new. But it's this idea that other people have emotions and experiences, and that you can, even if you've never experienced them yourself, you can imagine what it's like to experience it for yourself. This is a new development for me. And I do mean that. This is a past year that I've really developed empathy. Beforehand, I think it's called cognitive empathy, where you just like, oh yeah, that is bad. That does kind of suck, and I can rationalize why that sucks, or why that's great, or whatever. I can rationalize to myself the experience other people are having, but I couldn't really truly feel it. And maybe I'll go into it another day of the story of me developing empathy. But eventually, I learned how to actually try and feel what it's like to live in someone else's shoes. Oh, I almost tripped again. What it's actually like to live in someone else's shoes, and that was a game changer. Let me tell you. Empathy, 10 out of 10, would recommend. Pretty huge, and I think a lot of people lack it nowadays. I think everyone's too apathetic. Everyone just wants to not care. There's especially in Western culture and American culture, there's this idea of individualism. We're a very individualistic society. This is nothing new. We're very individualistic, and we tend to not care about other people's suffering nearly as much as I think we should. And so I do think that empathy is something that a lot of people need to work on, especially young men. Given that I used to be a young man, that's why I think that. But that does tie into me developing these beliefs, because I developed empathy and I kept in mind that everyone is just like me. Everyone wants to enjoy life just like me. And that's what fueled my beliefs that the point of life is just to enjoy it, but also to extend that to everyone else around you, as many people as you can, reasonably. You can't save everyone, right? You can't. Some people are insufferable and they don't want to leave. And you can try to help them, but you can't kill yourself over it. Well, pretty creek, yeah? Very nice. This is very pretty. This is one of the nicest nature walks I've been on. You missed the part where I was looking over the lake. That was very pretty. Very pretty. I don't know the word. Just very pretty. But I do think that pretty much sums up my beliefs. And with that philosophy in mind, I do think that we should build towards a future that allows everybody to live a fulfilling life in the way that they deem is fulfilling. It's not up to me to decide what a fulfilling life is. Which way am I going here? Aha. Oh, I'm not entirely sure. Well, it's not up to me to determine what a fulfilling life is. For me, it's stuff like this. It's people, it's relationships, and it's having a good time with people that I love and with myself, because I'm trying to learn how to love myself. That's a whole other topic. For someone else, it may be completely different. And all power to them, honestly. I think that's everything I wanted to say today. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.